Hi, welcome to Champion Chat. This film looks at how you can help your child move from joining 2 words together in short phrases to joining 3 to 5 words together to make short sentences. Tune in. Let's start with tuning in. You need to focus in on your child's level of play and talk so that you can work out how to pitch your language with them. You can start by following your child's lead. Follow your child's lead. During this stage, as your child's language develops, so does their imaginative play. This is the beginning of some really fun times for you both. Let your child lead when you're playing. Follow their suggestions and go along with their ideas, no matter how silly.
We put the biscuit in the teapot so we can have biscuit flavoured tea.
This will hold your child's interest in the play. You then have lots of opportunities to introduce new words and sentences for your child to learn. Face to face. A really simple way to tune in is to be face to face with your child. Always try to make sure you're at your child's level when playing or having conversations. In this way, your child will know you're interested in them, they'll feel valued and they'll want to learn more. They'll also be able to tune in and hear your speech much more easily. Press pause. Avoid diving in and taking over the play by waiting to be invited in first. Take a moment to watch exactly what your child's doing with their play and wait for them to give you a cue to join in. Some children are quieter than others and you might have to wait for a long time or spot a really subtle cue. This is fine, just keep your eyes peeled.
Mummy, do it.
Mummy, do it. Okay. Join in and play. Now you're following your child's lead, let the fun begin. Speak up. You've tuned into your child, so now they're ready for you to add some language. It's time to speak up.
Children need to be able to talk before they can read, before they can write. Obviously precedes any kind of literacy. So the greater the child's word bank, the more that they can do when they're at school. Children need to have a word bank in their head that they can draw upon. So they need to experience as many words as possible and have them memorised and then draw upon them. You can't get a good writer or a good reader unless they can understand the words that are in front of them. So the more that people can talk with their children, analyse, discuss, introduce new words, play with them, the greater their word bank will be in their heads, and then they're able to use this in their future learning.
Simple language. Use simple language with your child. Avoid long and complex sentences, especially when giving them instructions you want them to follow. At this stage, your child can only understand instructions containing 2 or 3 parts.
Mummy, turn up.
Okay, Mummy, it's helpful to say your child's name before giving them an instruction. So, instead of, "We're going out to Granny's house now, so let's get ready, get your shoes and coat on, we're going in the car."
Arthur, it's time to go out.
Try, shoes on, coat on, Granny's house. Repeat and add. Show your child the next step in language development. If they're joining 2 or 3 words together, repeat back what they say and add a word. Adding in an action word is really useful.
Arthur's teeth.
Arthur's brushing his teeth. That's right, Daisy. Well done.
Modelling. You can also show the next step in language by modelling 3 or 4 word sentences yourself whenever you can. At this stage, your child will start to use sentences containing a subject, which is the person doing the action, an action word or verb, and an object, the person or thing that the action is being done to or with. So in the sentence, Teddy drinking tea, Teddy's the subject, drinking is the verb, and tea is the object. Try commenting on their play and everyday situations using these 3-word sentences.
Baby eating bread.
It's also a good idea to model back sentences with little words like the or is if your child leaves them out. Don't ask your child to copy or imitate you. Just hearing lots of examples of this sentence structure is all that they need. Talk in your first language. Talk to your baby in the language you feel most comfortable with.
Di nome Hansel e una bambina chiamata Gretel.
There's no evidence to suggest that learning more than one language delays speech and language development. In fact, there are lots of benefits for your child. It really helps them with later academic achievement. Children need to have a good grasp of their home language. It's vital to later reading, writing and talking skills. You don't need to worry about them learning English. Once they start nursery, they'll soon pick it up. Taking turns. Remember that turn taking is the basis of a good conversation. It's all about balance. Try to match the number of turns with your child. Neither one of you should be dominating the interaction. Try also to match the length of your turns. By using repeat and add on, you can be sure that you're not talking too little or too much during each turn. Cut down questions. Adults tend to ask children an endless list of questions. What colour is it? How many are there? What are you doing? It's because we want our child to talk to us. But you might be turning the chat into a bit of an interrogation, especially if you don't leave time for your child to respond before you fire another one at them. Avoid asking too many questions. Instead, try commenting. Turn your questions into comments. Instead of, what colour is the ball? Say, look, a blue ball. 5-finger rule. For every question you ask, make your next 4 turns a comment.
Feeding the baby.
Genuine questions. Only ask questions you genuinely don't know the answer to. When you ask a child what colour or how many, you're testing their knowledge. But they can learn so much more about concepts like colour and number if you give them the information instead of testing them. Ask the question in your head. Ask the question in your head and say the answer out loud. So in your mind you think, how many wheels has the car got? And out loud you say, the car's got 4 wheels. Pondering. A tip that I use a lot with my own children is to let them be the expert on the subject. Pull a confused face and ask, I wonder, instead of asking a direct question.
Right. I wonder if there's a cow in this bag.
Speech sounds. At this stage, your child's use of speech sounds is still developing. By the age of 3, their speech is becoming clearer, but they may still make some errors, like shortening longer words.
What's this?
Got.
A helicopter.
Clusters of sounds where 2 or 3 sounds happen together in a word might be tricky.
Ducks. What noise do ducks make?
What?
Quack, quack.
As well as other sounds such as s, f, sh, ch, th, and l, w, and y.
Collar.
That's a lorry. Well done.
Don't try to correct your child, just say the words back to them in the correct way. Don't worry about getting them to repeat the word back to you. They'll only say it back incorrectly again.
Tell me, Mummy.
You in?
Tell me, Mummy.
Come in. Yeah. I think it might be a bit of a tight squeeze. I'll try.
Just keep modelling back the right way for them, and this will really help their brains to sort out how each sound should be made. If you are concerned about your child's speech sounds, contact your local speech and language therapy service. Most services have an open access policy, so you won't need to go through your GP or health visitor. You can find more information on our website, and there's a film about children with speech sound difficulties which may be useful. And the Ages and Stages film acts as a rough guide to check out how your child's getting on. Dummies. Prolonged dummy use can really affect a child's talking skills and teeth development, and dummies should really be avoided for children who are prone to middle ear infections. Now's a good time to phase the dummy out completely if your child's still using it. For more detailed help and advice on giving up the dummy, watch our Dummies film. Try out. Let's finish up with some activities for you to try with your child. Songs for today, words for life. Early knowledge of nursery rhymes has been proven to be strongly related to the development of sound awareness skills and reading abilities. Songs provide the perfect structure for learning new words. The language is repetitive and they're rhythmic. This makes them easier for children to remember and join in. The rhyming words are predictable, so you can leave gaps for your child to fill in.
Miss Polly had a dolly who was...
Sit, sit, sit.
Songs are a great behaviour management tool too. Stop a tantrum before it gets into full swing by sharing a song together. A song a day keeps the tears away. At this stage, they're also great for adding words like more, again, and finish to your child's vocabulary.
That's finished. Do you want any more?
And of course, it's a fun and enjoyable way for your child to learn about concepts like numbers, size and colour. Children will love it if you adapt songs and put their names in or make up funny rhymes. You'll soon build up a little store of rhymes and songs personal to you and your child that you can share and enjoy. Love books, love learning. A lifelong love of books is a springboard for your child to succeed in communicating. Research by the National Literacy Trust has shown that early book ownership, frequency of library trips and the amount of parental reading in the home is strongly linked to later language, reading and writing achievement. At this stage, your child will be interested in longer books which have more of a storyline, and they're developing the attention and listening skills to cope with these now. Lift the Flap and interactive books are still a real favourite and provide lots of great opportunities for you both to label items in the pictures.
Clever girl.
If your child has a set of favourite books they want to hear over and over, although it can get a little bit boring for you, try to persevere because your child will hear the same language repeated. This is a good thing. It also provides a familiar structure which your child can predict. So, when you leave gaps for them to fill in, they experience the confidence boost of getting something right.
Go.
Lots of cars there, isn't there?
Try and read as regularly as possible with your child, not just at bedtimes, but at other times during the day, and try to have books to hand all round the house. Story or book sacks are fantastic to introduce at this stage. They're simply bags that contain a book with some of the props to go with telling the story. These make brilliant gifts for your child. They're simple and easy to make, and you can find most of the toys and items from charity shops if you want to keep the costs down. Making the most of TV. Children who watch lots of TV tend to have lower scores on tests of their talking skills. But there are some educational benefits to 2 to 5-year-olds. These are some of the findings of a recent review of the literature which the National Literacy Trust carried out. Treat TV watching like sharing a book. Watch with your child and talk about what's happening. DVDs or recorded programmes are useful as your child can revisit them from time to time and they'll hear the same language repeated. Programmes that leave pauses and opportunities for your child to talk, maybe by asking questions, and those that mix familiar with new content are good for this stage. Limit the amount of time your child watches TV. This is much easier to control if you avoid putting a telly in your child's bedroom. Switch it off and do something together inspired by what you've just seen. This could be anything from writing a letter to Granny and posting it after watching Postman Pat, to building with Lego after Bob the Builder. Listening activity. Lay 3 or 4 musical instruments out. Ask your child to close their eyes or turn their back. Now make a sound with one of the instruments. Let them open their eyes and see if they can choose the right instrument to copy the sound. Once they can do this with one instrument, try making sounds with 2. Understanding language activity. Put a few toys in front of your child and place a box and a bag across the room. Give instructions that mean they need to understand 3 words to carry it out.
Right, Daisy, get the banana and jump to the bag.
Or pick up the car and walk to the bag.
Clever girl.
Talking activity. Find pictures of people in magazines or take pictures of your child doing different actions. Cut them out and start a scrapbook or get them laminated and make some fridge magnets with some magnetic strip. Encourage your child to comment on what's happening in the picture using 3 words by asking, "What's happening?" If your child uses 2 words, repeat this back and add a word.
teeth.
Arthur's brushing his teeth. That's right, Daisy. Well done.
Thanks for joining us. Have fun watching your child becoming a chatting champion. Once your child's using 3 to 5 word sentences easily and understands longer instructions, you're ready to watch our talented talk film.